Alright guys, welcome to Frantic Day Out 2020. We're excited to bring you the movement standards, so there's no questions at all on Saturday, Sunday. No, feel free if you need to ask some questions in the comments or bring them with you on the day, but ideally study this, go through this video. Volunteers if you're watching, judges if you're watching as well, we need you to be sure you're up to date with all these movement standards. There's also some in the links on the workouts as well talking about it, but hopefully we can show you a little bit more. So WOD number one is going to be pretty straightforward for most of the movements. Just the main things we'll go through will be some of the kettlebell swings and slam ball questions. Rowing is rowing. I'm sure you guys have no way to cheat that, hopefully, but we'll keep an eye on you if you do. Just making sure that the judges know to reset the roll for them or have that ready when they move back to it, especially for their second row. Obviously everyone starts on 0, hands off the handles, 3, 2, 1, go, grab the handles and go. Don't remove your hands off the handles until your 500 metres or 400 metres or whatever it is you are rowing is complete. Now moving on to the next movement, this is Mick. Say hi Mick.
Hi,
so for here what we're going to go through guys is the kettlebell swing. The main thing we need first of all is when you're swinging through, the base of the kettlebell needs to be seen behind the body. So example here, when he goes through his swings, you can see just pops through at the back there, right near the boot. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Okay, example of this not happening would be obviously just trying to keep the kettlebell in front and just ripping it up with your arms. No rep, no rep, no rep. Okay. From there, a couple other things that we've got is making sure at the top you lock your knees, hips, pretty common stuff, but making sure you don't get to the top, almost locked out, and then push your butt back or re-bend your knees until you've completed the rep. Okay, so making sure we're nice and locked out at the top. In terms of the handle, I want the bottom of the kettlebell facing up. Now whether that's with the slightly bent arm, I know some of you just struggle to lock out with the kettlebell overhead, so whether it's with a slightly bent arm or straight arm, you still want the bottom of that kettlebell over the centre of your head locked out, okay? Or bottom of the kettlebell pointing upwards. Okay, so show us a couple like that. Good repetitions, finish the rep, cool, whether it's locked out, like I said, you have that mobility, or if it's slightly bent, it's fine as long as it's over the centre of the head. From there, a bad rep would be like a floppy handle. Okay, so not getting overhead, but also if he does get it overhead and the handle's floppy, no good, and more so dangerous for yourself as well. Okay? So pretty straightforward there. No other real tweaks there. I'd imagine if you hit those positions, all will be well in the world. From here, slam balls. So obviously a new movement to the WA fitness scene, if you like. I personally haven't seen these used in a competition yet. So basically what we're looking at is similar to the kettlebell, making sure you get over the centre of the head, not top of the head. So we want to see that ball come right back until it's over the centre. Again, you can have a slightly bent elbow if you need to, mobility-wise, or you can have a straight arm. It's up to you as long as it's in the right position. From there, when he slams it, he has to catch it on the first bounce. Okay, so show us a couple of reps. So catch on the first rep. If you fumble it, don't control it. Show us that. Obviously you can catch it or, yeah, no good, no rep. Especially on the last rep, be aware that if it comes to set rep 50 or the end of your set, you can't just slam it and walk off. Your judge will call you back to do the last repetition. So make sure every single one you catch. Give us an example of your last rep, how you might just catch it, control it, and then drop it. And then drop. You don't have to stand up with it, you can just catch, then drop, and then move on. Drop and then move on. That's the last rep of your set, for example. Okay? From there, box jump overs are pretty straightforward. Biggest thing is making sure you're jumping off 2 feet if you are doing the box jump over version. I'm sure a couple of those. Do not wear gentlemen's socks. We won't allow you to compete. Okay, so you can turn, rotate. You don't have to lock out on the box. You can go side on, laterally. Okay, you can jump up and then step down, that's an option as well. As long as we end up with a 2-foot jump and end up on the other side of the box, that's the main thing that we're looking for there. Okay. In terms of step overs, same sort of thing. So beginners or the masters that are using that version, step overs, both feet must all make contact at the top of the box. And then from there you can jump down, you can step down, whatever you want to do. Maybe not the most efficient movement, but provided you get both feet make contact at the top of the box for the step overs. Cool. Aside from that, I think that's all the movements for WOD number one. What number 2 is going to involve 2 parts. The first part being your clean and jerk max, the Brendo method. Okay, so if you don't completely understand the rules here, I'll briefly go through that, but make sure you have a read of the actual infographic on the Facebook page, and you should receive it through email as well, so you better understand how those 20-second efforts will work. The main reason we want it is so that you have all the pressure on you, all the eyes on you and your other partner in the lane to hit that lift. So it adds a little bit more atmosphere and pressure on that. So pretty much what will happen is we stand in the microphone, 3, 2, 1, go. The first lane will have 20 seconds to hit as many lifts as they want. Now a lift counts provided that you lift the bar off the floor before that 20 seconds is up. So let's say we're counting down, 3, 2, and he lifts, bang. From here, the time continue, next lane will continue lifting. As long as he doesn't put it down, as long as he continues lifting, you can finish your jerk, and if you obviously get the lift, it will count. So this is where it's up to you. You can have 1 attempt in that 20 seconds, you could have 2. If you're really speedy with your judge, you could potentially even have 3. So it's all about how you want to approach it. And in theory, you're going to have roughly about 1:40 in between the lifts that you get as all the lanes go through. So let's say this was lane 4, we'll wait for lane 1 to lift, then lane 2, lane 3 will be here, lane 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and then we'll go from there. You'll have Brendo talking shit in the background, it's going to be great fun. Then once you get to lane 5, we'll circle back to lane 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, etc. Okay? I think that's hopefully pretty clear on what is required.
Can judge help change weight?
Yes, so the judges can help change your weight, and they will be helping you. So the biggest thing is to be clear with your instructions. So it's not just, all right, we're going to 120. Tell them what plates you want on what side so they can help. And while you're resting and waiting and you're sussing out what weights you're going to hit next, take the time then to change your weight. And if you think you're going to hit a second lift within the 20-second effort, make sure you tell them that. Say, I'm probably going to hit this and then I want to hit this. Be clear. Therefore, it's not the judge's fault if the weights are wrong, because you have to double check. Okay? Alright, from here, the movement standards are pretty straightforward. You can power clean, squat clean. Show us a power clean here. Power clean is permitted. You can squat clean. You can split clean. There's no rep, by the way. You can stand up all the way. That also been. So there we go. We've already got some no reps out of the way, guys. Make sure you recover your position before you go overhead. From there, we can do show us the jerks. It's a shoulder to overhead essentially, so you can push press, strict press, you can push jerk, show us push jerk. Stand up all the way to finish the repetition, so make sure you're not cutting that hip short. Make sure we stand up to complete, yeah. And then we can split jerk as well. Make sure we cover the feet, show control, judge says yes, then down. Okay, that's really important. Show me one where you don't really control the way, you're sort of falling off the position. So he jerks it, all's good, fall, yeah, I got it, down, no rep. Okay? Needs to make sure the judge sees, yes, down. Okay? So you're not like halfway through. From there, squat jerk, do you want to show this one? If you feel inclined, squat jerk's fine as well, provided you stand up all the way. So pretty straightforward movement standard wise. Take the bar from the floor, hopefully you understand all the formats. If you don't, post in questions and we'll give you a little more clarity, or ask your coach, who should hopefully be studying these now to help you better on game day. So from here, the workout part 2, we're going to go through will involve power cleans. You can squat clean if the weight is heavy and you'd like to chip away it that way, that's fine as well. Again, same sort of things, making sure the elbows get in front, show us that nice rack position. Finishing before you drop the bar, not getting that half elbow through if it's light for you, and then dropping down. Make sure it's all, no rep, all the way through, cool? Also making sure your hips and knees extend at the top. So see this a lot and the weight's a little bit lighter. Show us a couple you don't lock out your knees or hips. Too fast to care basically. No rep. Okay. Show us a good one. Cool. So pop, finish, then can be lowered from there. Okay. Lateral burpees. So this will be side onto your bar. Burping down, jump to the side. Chest makes contact with the floor. Cool. And then it's a 2-foot jump side onto your barbell. So you're not allowed to position yourself to be facing the bar, you must be lateral to your barbell. Okay? Again, your judge can help you change the weights during that 1-minute transition. You're probably going to need their help too. But make sure you are assisting them and make sure you're talking to them. Okay? Yes, it's their job to know the weight, they'll have it on the scorecard, but just check your weights to make sure just in case. Okay? The last bit for WOD 2, we'll have the chasing better air bikes, which if you haven't had a go on, you're in for a treat in the worst kind of way. They take some serious getting up to speed, and you will have obviously those sprints after each of the AMRAPs if you get time or if you finish the barbells burpee portion. So the only thing you need to do as an athlete is, as you come up, press start once. Don't keep hammering it. Press start once, the screen will light up, bang, and then you can give it the send from there. Judges, when you're scoring, you will basically score their calories from when I say 3, 2, 1, finished, bang. Whatever number is on the screen at that moment is what you take, not if it ticks over afterwards. Okay, athletes, take your feet off as soon as I count down the end of the AMRAP. Cool, that's all we need for WOD 2, guys. On to WOD 3. WOD 3, presented by Frog Grips.
Let's do it.
So what we're going to go through now, guys, the kettlebell front squats. Going to be pretty straightforward. There's just a couple of things we want to touch on in terms of where you hold them and whatnot. So first of all, the positions if you're using the double. So handles must be in front of the shoulders, so we're not back racking, for example. Show us that. Not back racking. We can't rest the bottom of the kettlebells on the shoulder. You can have them on the side, elbows out or elbows in. Okay, whatever floats your boat, provided they're not in a back rack position. Okay, they don't break the line of the shoulders. Cool. From there, the biggest thing we'll ask you guys to be aware of, especially if you're practicing or if your coach is watching you, etc., is making sure hip crease below knee is kind of a given for a squat. But the biggest thing is knees and hips finishing all the way, because it's going to be a lighter and sort of faster style workout with these sort of weights. We want you to make sure you're finishing your reps. So show us some faster reps, Mick, where you're still locking out strong. Cool. Hip comes through, knees extend. Right, what we're looking for is not finishing with your butt back a little bit. Okay, that's the thing when you're going fast. I know it looks really over the top right now, but sometimes it happens to that slighter degree. So hips forward, knees lock, and all will be well. You won't have to worry about any no reps at all. Cool, so that's another kettlebell front squat. In terms of, so we've got pull-ups, chest to bars, and bar muscle-ups. So I'm sure you all know what those look like. There's not a whole lot to it, just making sure that you obviously finish with your chin above the line of the bar. It doesn't have to be over the bar, but just above the line of the bar as well there. Chest has to actually touch on the chest to bar. We've had times in the past where people are surprised that that's the case. It's not chest in line, it is chest physically touching the bar. Okay? Sweet. The judges ideally will be trying to stand side on, but obviously they're not going to want to be getting in other athletes' ways. In terms of the pull-up bars, so there are plenty here for the entire heat that can be used. But if you don't want to share, the bars will be split basically in half on some of these longer ones. If you don't want to share, there is the option to use the other side of the rig. That is a choice you can make as well. And there are some side bars which again you can use as long as you're not getting in anyone else's way. Okay? But it's kind of cool to line you all up and watch you all throw down that way. Zoom back in. Is that Frog Grips he's got on?
Yes.
Alright. So, from there, ring rows is the other one, guys, as well. Basically, we'll be facing outwards on the day, or facing the wall on the day. But pretty much we'll have a line drawn here. Your heel must be touching the line, some part of the line. And from there, you'll complete a ring row. He's going to face this way, but on the day, you'll face the other way. Okay, from there, he's going to pull. Rings must touch the chest. And hips must remain open, so you can't do like a little froggy kick where you bring your hips down and then shoot the hips up. None of this stuff. Okay? Keep them locked, squeeze and pull up from there. Cool? Again, you can sit your hip wherever is comfortable for you, provided you're not using it to complete the rep. Okay? If the ring doesn't touch the chest, it doesn't count. I think that does us for WOD number 3.
Ready.
WOD number 4, the final, brought to you by Chasing Better, chasing direction. So you have the option of going one of two ways based on your strengths and weaknesses or just strategy in general. So you can either choose to go from the toe to bar way down or the handstand push up the opposite direction on the way up. So you just have to keep the same order of the exercises. You can't chop and change and make up your own workout. Okay? So just going through quickly, the main ones we'll need will be, for example, the snatches in this one.
Have you warmed
Bit
it?
of pressure with the gen, we'll get up here, but we'll see how we go. So for RX, they're going to be full snatches with a continuous movement to the bottom, hitting full depth, making sure he stands up all the way to complete the rep to show. Okay. Stand up, finish, yep, cool. Touch and go, singles, whatever you need to do, so that's for RX. For intermediate to masters advanced, you are allowed to power snatch and then overhead squat. Set and then overhead squat down, that's fine. Okay, but again, it's up to you. You can full snatch as well if you're confident with that weight and move your way through. And then beginners will just have the power snatch option. So again, just making sure, guys, you lock your knees and top, lock your hips. The overhead squat sometimes is that tendency to kind of lock out with the butt back like this. So making sure you bring the hips through to complete the rep. You don't want any wasted reps. It's going to be a long day. WOD number 4, we don't want to be wasting any energy by that point. From here, we've got the dumbbell snatch. Pretty straightforward movement. Again, you would have done plenty of these in different competitions. Making sure the 2 ends of the dumbbell touch the floor each time. With alternating hands, you can hand off, you can swap over on the floor, provided we alternate hands, all is good. Okay, with the lockout, elbow locks at the top of this one, reaching up nice and tall, and just making sure the hand and shoulder are back in line to complete the rep. So no locking out in front, which people do sometimes, so show us a couple of those. Almost like locking the elbow in front of the body, flicking it out in front, make sure it comes to in line with the shoulder. Okay? Then from there, kind of look at the handstand push-ups. So we'll have the handstand push-up mats by Chase and Bev, the new mats they've just brought out, which will give us our standard for hand width. Come a little bit closer. So basically what we're looking for here is making sure your fingers can go over the line, but your palm cannot go over the line, right? So fingers is okay, palm is not, right? So we're going to use that as our gauge. From here, in terms of the reps themselves, kipping is allowed, strict is allowed. When you come up, what we're going to make sure is that you're not doing the stripper butt on the wall to finish the repetition. So whether it be kipping or strict, no resting with your butt on the wall to finish the rep. Okay? And obviously we're looking for, yeah, he's loving it too much. From there we're going to try and just make sure we get our lockout, elbows locked, feet on the wall. None of this drifting off the wall either as you get tired. So show us, again, just show us on where you kind of lock out. And just as you're about to lock out, you're drifting off. I know it sucks, but these are the sort of ones you get away with in class that you're not going to get away with on competition day. Yeah? Not enough control at the top of the rep, that'll be a no rep and you have to redo it again. Okay? Cool, cool. And from there, we've just got the quick one on the toter bar. So making sure that your leg or your feet just break the line of the bar. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. We don't want you keeping your feet in front. So show us a couple of bad ones, Mick. Okay, so legs in front, just trying to shorten the time a little bit. It's actually probably harder, but anyway. From there, make sure your legs come back, break the line of the bar, and both feet touch at the same time. None of the 1, 2 as you get tired. Okay. Obviously, both feet touch the bar as well. So that's all for the standard so far, guys. If you have any questions, please post in the comments below or on any of the workouts, and we'll clarify it. You need to make sure you have all your shit together for comp day. Don't come bringing questions unless they're one that we haven't answered. Make sure you understand every workout, where you need to be, what time you need to be there, and we'll all have a great day out. Cheers.
Bars are really hard, man.
WOD 3, we're back. Nick, you're supposed to jump into the shot, man. Do it again. Do it again. And then put your hands up.